hopefully now we're right. Sorry about that. May have had a major audio issue just to start us off with, but we are live here for On Loose Lines. We're live at the Bendigo harness racing track and started a little bit later. Simply just had rating of race number 2. Great little race too, the Woodlands Nutrien Equine Sales Classic. And I must have known because it was taken out by Sweet Lou, who's having a massive run at the winner. Sweet Bella brought up win number 4 for Durham Park. Mark Pitt in the reins, Emma Stewart, as I said, won 4 from 4. Anyone tuning in wanting to watch coverage of the trots, won't be able to show you that. I can show you the track, and we are definitely there, and might be able to manipulate the camera a little bit later on. But yeah, you won't be seeing any race fields coming from here. We will have Kath McIntosh coming to join me shortly, and also Mark Barton plus Eric Hendricks. I did have a few people here ready to go, but they've all disappeared and ran away from me. So anyway, hopefully they won't be far off. I just got to double check. Please, same as always, get involved in the show, have a bit of fun. Encourage people to send their comments in, tune in if you're watching, and go from there. We've got plenty of people, Michelle Arnott, Mickey Blackmore, and a few others. So thank you very much for joining me. Try and get hold of Kath McIntosh or Mark Barton or anyone else as we go. But good little race there, 156.6, 27.2, 29.8, just a zip up the straight, but they really got up the straight very, very well, those horses. So they went terrific. Just sending Kath a message because she didn't want to come on at the start. But please get involved in the show. Thank you very much, Bernie. Really appreciate that. Thank you for that. It is my birthday, anyone wondering as well. So Kath is there talking to a couple of people. Hopefully she gets that text message. I can actually see her. Both her, Mark Barton, and Eric Hendricks. I had heaps of people lined up. Okay, big news today. Not my birthday, although was my birthday, so I appreciate that, Michelle. Of course, the announcements today from Harness Racing Victoria with, effectively stake reductions and a few other things going on. Matt Isaacs, I will be catching up with Matt tomorrow, and you'll see that on Campbell's comments probably tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Just excuse me for one sec. Hey, Eric. Everyone else has left me. I got Eric Hendricks coming up, the president of the Bendigo Harness Racing. Thank you, Galen. I look forward to seeing you later in the year. And Bill and Vicky, thank you very much, Vic. Pick a microphone, mate. So he's taken that one. Eric Hendricks joins me. Firstly, thank you very much for coming and joining me. Those other two are up there. They're in the warmth. They didn't want to come out at all as soon as I've gone live.
Right. It's a pretty good setup here now. So you got the deck outside option or inside?
It is. It's actually a Brent effort. Brent, the reason I'm going to do that is actually try to get a bit of picture. This is awesome, this deck, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been super popular, and it's been well used by the industry participants and guests, I guess. And we're already taking bookings for the end of this year for Christmas parties and work breakups. Like we can fit 70 people on here, so we can cut it in half, do 2 groups, or once again just one big group out here for Christmas work breakups. It'll be 30 degrees out here, absolute Christmas.
It is, and the bar's been done up as well, but this part is awesome, and thankfully I was able to get the footage, and there's a winning post just there, so you can sort of see the footage right on the winning post, which is enormous, and it's not members only, it's not anything like that. I mean, people can book it out, but we've had quite a few people just coming up here tonight because it's not booked out. We've got Kath McIntosh got her function up there, and we'll talk on that in a sec. But it's not actually a booked out night, so people can come up here and enjoy it and enjoy watch racing.
And that's what's good about it. You know, entry from both ends of it, and people do like to just roll up and have a drink, watch the race, and head back to the stabling area and catch their horse. So it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeffrey Dixon, Tracy Commodore, and someone else, Philip Wood. Thank you very much. It's my birthday. So everyone's remembering 21 again, and I'm actually going to stick with that. We better put ourselves back on there, or people won't even know we're here. How's the club going, mate?
Yeah, no, we're going fantastic. Winter obviously is I guess a quiet time, but we're still getting those in-house bookings from a function point of view, and the racing's been tremendous. As of tonight we've got the Llowalong Farms final, and then next week the Nutrien finals as well, and heats tonight as well. You know, like it's unbelievable at the moment out here.
And the buy-in from these people like Bardo and Kath McIntosh, CAFs is a little bit different, but I mean, Bardo's here for the heats. Nutrien are here for the heats. So Ian Carmichael's up there as well, and there's quite a gathering of people up there. They come for the heats and the final, which is really exciting for sponsors and people to get involved with as well.
Yeah, and it's great. Like, we've had a vision. Obviously, COVID gave us a bit of an opportunity, that period where things were shut down inside. It gave us a bit of an opportunity to look ahead and plan and, provide these sort of opportunities from a function and giving the added bang for buck with our corporate sponsors to come here and be on the winning post on the deck or in the private room here. And, it's a great mix. So hopefully moving forward, this place should just be continuing to, grab marquee events.
The bar upstairs and that area upstairs, it's changed completely. It's got couches where people can actually relax. I mean, trying to get big crowds of people, I suppose, to dining rooms and things along those lines, it's not that easy. So you've changed that up. Gives it a real good feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, we're just trying to come back to that modern age bracket as well. We're trying to encourage them to come out after work and, on the way home, just stop in and have a couple of drinks. And we've improved that area too from a, like a sports bar area type of thing with a couple of TVs, and it's just got a whole new look about it up that end, which is brilliant. So we've just brought ourselves into the 21st century really, and it's pretty attractive.
I think that's one of those things, the sports betting thing. It's one thing that a lot of the industry participants and people think we just got to bet on horses. Tell Kath McIntosh Neville to come out for me, please. But the sports betting and the TAB turnover is generated. It's all one thing. So we need to encourage a different audience. So there was two guys just here. The owners are ludicrous. They're going downstairs for us. They don't look like your regular race goers. We've got to be able to make it appealing for them.
Yep.
If the footy's on, the footy's on. I mean, it's a Wednesday
100%.
night. So
yeah, and we've been a bit fortunate to have a Thursday and Friday race meetings throughout the year, and we have tapped into that AFL market as well, and we've put that on Facebook. Footy's on the big screen. Combine that with live racing, grab a meal and a drink. You tick all the boxes.
Absolutely. Kath McIntosh is coming, so I won't. We'll just hold Kath up one sec. Just a little bit remiss. Noel Ridge and the passing of Noel Ridge and a stalwart for the club, and the things that he was able to do, not only for the Bendigo harness racing, but harness racing in general. But I'd imagine a sore missing point for you as well as a person's regularly here on the grounds. Yeah,
for sure. Look, the history room that was being renovated is across the way from our office. So every day I walk past it and think to myself, he's at the forefront of my mind that we're going to keep pushing that room. And he's got a good team in Norm West and Steve Sparks, Darryl Cronk is helping out now as well. So we're working together now to make ensure that's we're hoping to open it by November this year. And what we've done to this point looks amazing. So those that have stuck their head in, it looks brilliant. So.
On the back of the announcement today, it's probably not the. I might get Jared actually a bit later on too. He has to come on. He did say he was going to come on. Jared Maloney, that is. The shed over the stabling areas, but I would imagine from the committee's point of view, you're still not going to give up on that. But I mean, today's announcements probably don't make things easier for that, but it's something that you guys are going to continue to do.
Yeah, for sure. Look, it's an absolute must for our club anyway, and industry participants to put a roof over them
and the vet
and Kath protect them from the wind and the rain and the sun. We see ourselves as one of the big marquee clubs in the industry, and we don't have a roof over the stabling area to look after our participants, which is is pretty sad. So we're hoping we can work with HRV and local corporates to try and find the funds to put one up. So we're pushing really hard on that. Anyone out there that wants to help, give us a call.
Give us a call. Yeah, we'll start up a challenge. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
I'll let
no
you
worries.
go. You can swap over.
Thanks,
for Kath. We've got a little bit of buffering happening here, but anyway, it will still be going. Hello, Kath.
G'day, Paul.
You said 6 o'clock. That'll be okay because it's only just starting upstairs. A few people rocking up already, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've got some guests upstairs for dinner as part of our, Heidi George Mayor's final series, and we've had the same sort of setup at Echuca and Swan Hill, and we've had people had horses in races, maybe they've owned them, bred them, or just local to the area that have been long-term clients. But tonight it's almost a bit of a farmer's night. We've got there's some dairy farmers, some beef farmers, there's a tomato farmer. Is a really all people that sort of have an interest in harness racing and a long time interest, and so it's a good night tonight. And this is what we've got to do, try and encourage and renew interest, get new ownership and that sort of stuff. So, hopefully, I mean, most of them actually don't know each other, but I'm tipping with their common ground, by the end of it, they'll have a really good night. So.
And there's that crossover with Nutrien as well, so you might even be able to help, but like we've got the heats here, and we'll talk about those in a sec, because you've had some great results from the farm's point of view. But just up in there, Mark Barton might end up selling some cows for some of these guys.
Yeah,
You never know what might happen.
And that's the beauty of the harness racing industry and, the agricultural sector. There's a crossover everywhere, and we could really tap into that probably better as an industry. And, the whole mares race series that were put on, Bendigo, Echuca and Swan Hill have historically been tracks that, provided race day veterinary services since I started my practice. And, that's how I've got to know people in the industry over almost 2 decades now. And it's sort of a nice way to have, give back to the clubs and actually have something for, those industry participants in those areas, and for the clubs, and a bit of promotion.
The one thing you are big on, though, is fun in the industry and trying to have fun, and you've always been on that, and I really admire it. It's something that you've driven, and it's one thing that we probably miss a bit in our industry, so I do really appreciate it, and it is something we want everyone to get about and just have some fun, have a couple of quiet drinks. You got some finger food and a buffet going on there tonight. It's not like you're putting on caviar and highfalutin. It's just have a feed and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, and look, it's a great facility here. In fact, at all the clubs, where we've, you go upstairs and have a meal, and it's just something simple but really nice. It's nice and warm in the middle of winter. You've got a great view of the track. There's really lots to offer that from these clubs, and it'd be good to see even some of the footy and netball clubs actually have a night up at the trots. And but anyway, you just got to keep trying and keep at it, and over time, hopefully, we'll keep encouraging people to stay as participants, and hopefully pick up some new people along the way.
Yeah, absolutely, and get the good words out there, please. If anyone has any questions for Kath, make sure you get involved. Kath, one I want to know, I don't want to know, I actually do know the answer to that. We've got a lot of people watching, so please don't be scared to fire the questions in. Won't be seeing any of the races. You will hear it though, because I can't do nothing about that. The audio goes over the top of me. Heidi George, the name. I know where it come from, but I'll let you, I suppose, tell people.
Yeah, so Heidi is Luke and I's eldest daughter, and Georgia is our second daughter. So it was actually Joel Fowler's idea, and he's put a lot of this together behind the scenes and organised with the clubs. And so we just thought we'd try something different. The Heidi George Mares Classic, and the girls are, they're so into the farm and the mares, and they know, half the horses, and they have been to Echuca and they did the presentation there. They didn't go to Swan Hill, it's a bit late on a school night, but they're here tonight. They're very keen to do the presentations and just be a part of it. And that's what we've got to keep fostering in these younger ones. And now we had parent-teacher interviews the other week, and apparently all their classes know all about the trots. Like, we're just tapping into a whole new audience right there.
Well, that's a good result. I will say, if the teachers are watching this at all, they were up there doing their homework before, because they knew they had to get their homework done before the presentation started. So they're going good that way. I think it's a great concept. Getting more mares races, which is what we want. I suppose you're targeting a mares demographic that don't get looked after as well either. I mean, the high-end mares races, albeit we want more of them, they do get looked after, but probably definitely want more races for them. But the lower class, there's not a lot of individual mares series going around. I think one through the summertime, but that's about it.
Yeah, there's the Harness Breeders Victoria have a which I think we've had the first one of, and then there's finals coming soon, maybe in August or September. But yeah, just trying something different. Thankful for HRV for supporting us in this concept with a $20,000 final at Bendigo, and the whole. We could have run 4 heats. We've had that many nominations. It's really competitive racing. The winners of the heats at Echuca and Swan Hill both got a Raging Bull service to go with their win, and then tonight the winner will receive a free service to Poster Boy as well.
I'm sorry, I don't have tiles for them. I've got tiles for other stuff. I could have had tiles for those if I'd realised that part. I didn't even think about that, but well done.
Yeah, so, and also, thanks to those owners of Raging Bull, and also Bill and Ann Floriston Bloodstock for Poster Boy, and they're supporting the industry in so many ways, so and obviously supporting us.
And Poster Boy was booked out last year, so I mean that's a fairly significant donation because of the fact that he was booked out last year. So people need to be aware of that as well. That
Yeah.
you may not have got into him. So it's a huge contribution. So
Yeah, and both of those stallions are also eligible for a $100,000 Llowalong Farms cash bonus this year. So not only are they getting a free service, but effectively,
in
free.
2027 it will be.
Yes, that's
the
right.
horses that are conceived this year.
Yep.
If they can win the 2-year-old Vicbred
Yep.
finals for fillies, colts, fillies and fillies and colts and geldings, trotters or pacers. So
that's right.
there's 4 chances.
Yep.
So for people to be able to get involved in that and go from there. Porky Hand, hello to you, Porky, from New Zealand. That is, he's over in New Zealand. Mark Hughes, he told me before. Here's something for everyone at home to think about. He was in shorts and UGG boots. He said the weather's turning. He said, I'm actually in shorts and UGG boots. Now,
Oh my goodness, that's not a vision we want
but
to
he
think
actually
too
said
much
thank you.
about.
And Barb Sedgwick said it. I told him I'd shelf him. So, he's going there. Richo's actually on. Belinda Richardson's watching. There's heaps of people on. So please get involved if you have any questions. Rightio. The tie-in with Heidi George as well. We're going to talk about harness breeding stuff in a sec, but we're going to stay on Llowalong Farm just for a second. Your commitment with Nutrien and you've got behind Nutrien have got behind Llowalong Farms. But you and I, last year, we went all the way to Menangle and you had a huge final up there as well as horses winning races and the rest. And you started with a bang again already, like with Sydney. Sydney already. You're not the breeder as such because it's Lauriston Park, but it was bred at your place, conceived at your place. So you actually love this series, don't you?
Yeah, we do. So both the winners of last year's Group 1 final with the fillies and the colts was Lauriston Bud.
First responder?
And was the colts. Yep.
Yep.
So it was an major colt out of Smyrna Sioux.
Yep.
And then something about Eli is a Some Beach Somewhere filly out of National Gallery.
Who just went around then.
Yeah. So she's a full brother to Honolulu Bay.
Yep.
So she just, I think she got third in the heat there. So she won last year.
Yep.
So we're pretty chuffed. Obviously, presenting those horses on behalf of Lauriston Bloodstock was pretty awesome. And then to see them come out and go that well last year. And then of course, at Menangle heat the other day was Captain.
I'm out.
Shannon Price.
Yes.
Not some sort of captain.
It's not school captain either, but it's, I know. I do know the horse.
Just having
It's
a
actually
mess
by
of
Sweet Lou. The horse is actually by Sweet Lou. I do
No,
know.
it's a Captain Treacherous out of Musical Delight. Shannon Price had it. She won both heats, but it was a.
I can settle an argument. It's okay. You keep going.
I can't think. I'm just having a complete mental blank. So anyway, he sold for $100,000 at the Melbourne Nutrien sale on the Friday night. So he was our first yearling that we presented that had a that was sold for $100,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So so technically at the end of sales on the Friday, he was the highest price horse to go through. He did get beaten.
Yeah, he was the highest price on the Friday night. Yeah.
But
And our first $100,000 horse that we've put through the sales.
Incidentally, I think the horse that actually was the highest price one was the Mine Mackenzie going forward. I can get those names up and go from there and keep it. But I mean, it's good association. And just now, the horses are going out onto the track. Again, I can't show you the races. Every now and then we go to a buffering thing, but it comes back to green. So I just ignore it and just continue on with the show, Kath.
You want me to look at it?
I don't want to look at that. You're driving my phone. Have a look at you go. But the big boss going round, and of course he's a horse that you have bred. Hasn't he done a huge job? The son of Gentle Anvil.
Gentle Anvil, yep. So he's a Bettor's Delight. So he went through the Sydney sale here. He went through the Sydney sale for $75,000. So owned by Greg Fleming or Moreland Equine. So that was a great. Great result for them. And there's a full brother actually in the paddock to the big boss. So looking forward to seeing him, and he is a very handsome individual.
This horse, I put a tweet out there before Amanda was walking him around down there. Works for Nathan, and he looked outstanding going around then. I know Shannon Price. She actually won both the races yesterday. So
she got a treble the whole day actually.
Yep, and she's staying. She come sure thing captain.
Sure thing captain. I keep thinking.
So now we're right now. Someone else has probably typed it in and going from there. But unfortunately, we keep buffering. I don't know. Don't like that, Kath. That red. Hopefully, people are able to still watch it. Keeps clicking over there. So I'm hoping people are still able to watch it. We have frozen. Now it's back. Anyway, the jaw technology. We did do another show here once upon a time when we had the same issue. And then Forceful was the other horse of Shannon Price.
That's
is the one that's a Sweet Loose. Sorry, and they were Thirst Tree Home. We're all Sweet Loose. So look after Husey and everyone else along those lines. I do apologise for this buffering. Did not have an issue at all with it. And for some reason now, It is going. It is actually the Bendigo Wi-Fi. Okay, big boss about to go around. Put your other hat on for a minute. Well, no, the farm. Sorry, stay on the farm.
Yeah.
Stay-ins this year.
Yep.
Because we've got a couple of new ones. I've got King of the North. I lost him on Monday night. I couldn't remember his name, and I had people sending me the message. I do apologise for that, but I got King of the North. But you've got a pretty big roster of horses coming this year. You've got 3 on the plane already.
Yeah, so the boys landed yesterday at Melbourne, and reports there are that everything, they're all in good health. So that's King of the North, American Ideal, and Lather Up.
Yep.
So they've all landed well and going, so far so good. So it's always a stressful time. They'll do another 2 weeks of quarantine before they arrive on farm, and then we'll have our stowing parade on the Sunday the 10th of September, and you'll be able to come and have a look at all the boys then. But yeah, we have a pretty solid roster. So we've got from the Pacers, so on behalf of Woodlands, we've got American Ideal and Lather Up. Then we've got Poster Boy, Soho Tribeca, Raging Bull, Yankee Rockstar, Malmara. They're our Pacers. And then from the trotter side, we've got King of the North, who's just a superstar, standout.
Son of
Walner. He is, and he's been super popular already, both here and in New Zealand. And then we've got Pastor Stephen as well. So he's first progeny are only yearlings now, but his full brother, Father Patrick, is doing really well. So we expect to see similar results from Stephen.
And a beautiful horse too. Like he's a beautiful. He's a
he's
dude.
just unreal. Yeah. And then we've got also got Frozen Seaman for Helpers on the Way, who's a son of Chapter 7. So we've got plenty of options for and top quality options for all range of breeders. So
and Vic Bred Pure through to Vic Breds. You've got the whole gamut of everything.
And the Llowalong Farm bonus as well for Poster Boy, Soho Tribeca, Raging Bull, Yankee Rockstar, and Pastor Stephen. So the four paces and 1 trotter. Yeah.
The concentration on your face there, Sen, as you're clicking those out. I understand that. Pastor Stephen Fole, so Barb Sedgwick, who is Nellie Melba. She actually owns Raining Lilies, so with Ross Graham. Yeah. So she's got a Pastor Stevens on the way.
We'll
so
have a few on display
Timmy
at our
White,
Stallion
Timmy White's
Parade.
watching too. Don't worry about that. The great man from New Zealand. So.
We've got some really nice Pastor Stevens that we'll have on display at the Stowing Parade. We'll take through a few wheelings just for people to get a bit of an idea, and really impressed with their stock and how they're looking.
So that's on Father's Day. We need to make sure people are aware, because last year it was Father's Day. We promoted it that way. It's actually the week
10th,
after.
Sunday the 10th of September.
The week after.
So.
Rightio. We've got a couple of minutes. The runners are on track. There's only 4 in this race, so they won't take too long. They're blowing the whistle there. We will go through, though, Breed to Succeed, Kath. We want to make sure people are aware of this. August 20 starts at 4:30. You reckon about 2.5 hours?
Yeah, that's right. It should be, probably 7:30, I would think, by the time everyone gets in and settled in. So there's, food and drinks provided. There's about 20 stalls of trade, so representing a whole range of things from the industry.
Most of these guys, I think, they're
most of them. Plus, there's been a few more since then. So, it should be a really good night. We'll have a speaker. I think there's about nutrition. Then we'll, have some food and time to talk with trade, and another speaker talking about from one of our equine medicine specialists. So there's actually some really cool stuff on some cardiology, as well as around sick foals too. And then plus we also have a speaker from the US, which I need to talk to you about. I'll need a hand with at some point. And we'll do a pre-recording. He's going to have a chat about just the way the racing works over there, and the sire stakes programs, and just some of the things that they've faced and some of the things that they've done, just trying to create a few different perspectives on different industries around the world, and also how that impacts us with the stallions and things coming down here too. So
that'll be awesome. So that'll be a pre-recorded one.
I'll come back to you about that one. Yeah,
it's the way she does things. She just says, "Oh yeah, Paulie will get it done," and it'll do. Prizes to be won on the day. There will be prizes from the trade stalls, but there's also the service fees for 3 stallions up for grabs, which is enormous, isn't it?
It's huge. So American Ideal from Woodlands, that's just huge. I mean, American Ideal is a superstar, and to be in the chance to win that, you need to come to the night, and you need to be a member of Harness Breeders Victoria to win a free service to American Ideal. We've also got Vincent free service from Alabar. Same deal. You need to be there on the night. You need to be a member of Harness Breeders Victoria. And also we're providing a free Pastor Stephen service as well. So there's about 21,000 worth of service fees that can be won, and we have a maximum number of about 110 people that can attend. So you've got pretty good odds there that you could win a service.
1 in 30.
Yeah.
1 in 30
So you
something.
need to RSVP, because we need to have RSVP for catering purposes. And we also need to have your RSVP because we have to cut our numbers, and we can't have 200 people there. So you need to get your RSVPs in and let us know.
No, absolutely. And as you can hear, the race is not far off coming over. You'll hear the race go to the top. They will still hear us, Kath. So that is all for the breed to succeed. Make sure you get in there. $55 to be a member too, which is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So make sure you sign up to be a member. Wouldn't you be angry if you get drawn out and you're like, I'm not a member? You just be crazy. Right, just a couple other quick ones very quickly. The Stallion Guide is out and I think went to print yesterday or today was meant to. So the last couple of days. So
and that'll be available at the Breed to Succeed as well.
It's on its way. Hambletonian Day is on December 22, so that's another harness breeders one. That's a little way away, but we want to make sure we highlight that. And I think that's all of them, those ones I had with you, but wanted me to make sure people become a member of Harness Breeders Victoria, but also get involved and get to these days and have some fun and learn something too by the sounds of things as well. I will be there. We ain't live streaming it. The way this is going, probably a good thing, Matt. Okay. But we won't be live streaming it, but it will be recorded and go up, but you miss half the stuff when you do it that way anyway. So
No, it's great. Look, it's just before the breeding season starts. Great to catch up with everyone. I know last year at our Stallion Parade we had 150 people there, and the number of people that just said, oh, it was so good to catch up with such and such. I haven't seen them in years. So come along, just have a catch up, have a drink, bit of food. It's just a really nice, relaxed evening. Just have a good time and chat to those people that have a common interest.
Yep, that's exactly right. And want to have fun and want to improve it and go from there. I'll let you get up to there. I know you've got the Hawthorns up there, or Gallagher's and Hawthorns and a few others. So it's a good turnout of people. I'm actually going to put your one man down. Grant's not here tonight because he went to Hamilton to drive. I'm going to put a video up that I caught up with Karen just before she had a nasty incident the other day. So I'll put the video up of Kez on while this race is on, and we'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes with that. So Karen Manning joins me now, and anyone wondering why she's laughing is because we might have had a couple of sort of false starts to start this, but joins me on the phone. Firstly, Kez, welcome back to Campbell's Comments.
Thanks for having me.
Not in ideal circumstances this one, although you did actually have a pretty good week last week. You notched up quite a few winners, but unfortunately you're going to be sitting on the sidelines for an enforced layoff for a short term.
Yes. After a fall in the Horsham trial last Thursday, I didn't actually come out of the cart, but my two horses in front of me fell over, and my horse went over the top of them and didn't fall over, but I went up in the air in the cart and landed awkwardly on my back on the shaft and hyperextended. Good landing, as I think the ground might have been softer to land on, but it was not real fun.
I watched it and it looked ugly. I must say it looked uglier for the person in Pete's colours who I thought you were initially, but it was one of those ones, like a lot of falls, sometimes they're not as bad as what they actually appear. You just thought you were a bit sore afterwards because of the way you landed?
Yeah, when I was landing, I sort of thought, oh, this isn't a good spot to land in it. It hurt, but it wasn't too bad. I was stuck in the dust sheet. And the little 2-year-old, he just stopped and pulled up to a walk and stood there, which was lucky because I didn't have a lot of control if he'd taken off or anything. So I sort of righted myself, and I was thinking, hope I haven't broken my back here the way I landed on it. But to my surprise, it was pretty good. So I drove the horse back, and the ambulance guys assessed me, and they poked and prodded me a bit, and they sort of thought, well, it was sore, but it wasn't. I wasn't excruciatingly in pain, so it was my choice to see how I went, to keep driving or not. And they just monitored me throughout the day and checked on me 3 or 4 times, and it was sort of, by the end of the day, I was getting sorer and sorer, so I knew there was something not right in there, but I thought it was muscular from the hyperextension, really.
5 or 6 drives you had at Horsham that day?
Yes. Had a couple of winners in a few places, and that made me feel a bit better, but it was a busy day.
Yeah. Do you think half of it you were a little bit busy, you had a bit going on, so you don't probably assess how bad you might have been?
Yeah, sort of. Like I cut my elbow as well, and it was bleeding, but that was sort of wasn't hurting, and it was just when I was in the cart, it was fine. I didn't have any pain driving the horses at all. It's just when I got out and to stand, I had to sort of sit down, and it was sort of relieved the bit of pain that I was having. So, it was sort of my choice to keep going, and like being in the cart was not giving me an issue at that time.
I was fortunate enough, we were at Melton the next night. You drove 2 for myself and Marie. One thing about Katrina Fitzpatrick, you can hear her everywhere. Anyone wondering who that is in the background? I know it's her, and Keza hasn't even told me. You drove 2 for us. You actually had a winner as well yourself. Like, you had a very good night on the night. But you said the same thing. Just once you're in the cart, you're fine, but walking around and everything else was painful, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I got up the next morning, Friday morning, and to see how I was, and I wasn't feeling too bad till I fed up, and lifting the buckets really hurt. If I just moved the wrong way or lifted something, it was like a 10 out of 10 pain, which made me drop the bucket kind of thing. And but if I didn't move wrong, it wasn't hurting much at all. So I sort of took some Voltarens before I left for Melton, and by the time I got to Melton, they'd sort of kicked in, and I didn't feel too bad for the night actually. And then again, as soon as painkillers were off, you're sort of a bit worse for wear. But yeah, it wasn't until Monday I decided not to drive at Maryborough and try to get a physio appointment with my lady, and went there, squeezed me in and went there, and she sent me for an x-ray Monday night, and they found 3 broken vertebrae. So that was sort of a good explanation of why the pain hadn't gone away.
No break is a good break. Are these okay breaks? So, like, I know that sounds silly the way I just said it, but are they just breaks that just have to knit themselves?
Yeah, basically they're 3 vertebrae in a row in the lower back, which right on the outer edges of the vertebrae is where the breaks are, and they're clean and stable, so not near the spinal cord at all. So basically it's just can't do anything for it than rest and no driving and just light duties, no twisting or lifting kind of thing. So it's sort of a 6-week period of healing, especially being the way they're broken. They're not in a bad way. So hopefully we can have the minimum healing time and see how we go. So yes.
So how does that go? Do you have to go to get a follow-up doctor's report? Doctors, they look at it in 5-6 weeks, or will it be just the 6 weeks and then away you go?
I'm not 100% sure. I think maybe I guess I'll know in time if it's still hurting or not, and then perhaps another X-ray to double check it. But yeah, it's comfortable enough to do anything other than twisting or lifting. So it's kind of it's I know when I've done the wrong thing. So it's just very sharp pain, but the painkillers in general, I'm walking around fine, and I look pretty normal. So all as normal as can be. Hey.
Well, you said that. It's quite an interesting little thing, isn't it? Because generally, people with a bad back, the last place you want to get is in the sulky. Yet it's funny how you were the comfortablest. It's an odd one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Certainly, just that position if my legs are straight. It seems fine, and I even jogged, worked a horse Saturday morning, Monday morning, up the track with the bumpy track, and it was no problem. So,
yep.
Yeah, it's funny, but yeah, it's certainly no wonder the pain wasn't disappearing, because we had something worse in there.
It never was. What are you going to do with yourself?
I'm a good strapper today. I'm at Hamilton. Got one in the last. Got ran out of retirement today.
I don't know about a good strapper, but anyway, we'll go. We'll see how we go.
Lucky you're not there. I can punch you in the arm.
Yep, that's exactly right. So, so you'll just take it easy at home?
Yeah, certainly. There's the only fixing work as of this week. So I've got Ada working for me, and Grant helps out in the mornings too. So I'll just have to do all the groundwork that I can without hurting myself, and be a bit careful.
Yeah, and take it
easy.
Get
out of feeding out.
Well, that's a good thing. This is always a good thing because I know that's a bone of contention at your place. Who has to feed up? So it's that's not a bad one to get out of. And although the frosty mornings might have left, you won't miss those frosty mornings either. So it won't be too bad. So that part will be good. You were saying just before I let you go, you are at Hamilton and Arden Rooney's on track, which is great to see him there, Kez.
Yeah, I had a bit of a selfie with him there before and give him a pat. I walked past and Jackie did say he was coming, and Jackie Barker, and I walked past and thought, that horse looks very familiar. And he's up the end of this row here, and every time I walk past, I give him a bit of a cuddle. So it's good to see him.
It is good to see him. We've got to remember these superstars of our industry. It's great that they just took him just if someone wants to pat a horse, I gather, so which is terrific. So well done to those guys. So a beautiful horse. How long ago was that New Zealand Cup, Kez? We don't want to mention it too much, but when was that? 2006?
2015.
2015. 6, I was in trouble, wasn't I? Not that long ago. not that long ago. But anyway. Kezi, thank you. You can also relay on to Katrina that she's now had 2 interviews in the 1 week because we heard all.
Can't miss her.
You can't miss her at all. Kezi, thanks for joining me. Take care. It is a unique sport we have, but well done for continuing the drive. I don't know how you did, but anyway, thankfully my 2 boys were very well behaved because you weren't angry with them, so it was good. And does make a difference. But please take care, and I'll catch up with you. Might be able to get you on Campbell's comments do some interviews or something like that. That'd be a bit of fun.
Not a problem. Anytime.
I actually do have an idea for you, Kez. You might be nervous with that one, but thank you for joining me, and we might see you. I might get you a choreography job. So thank you, Kez, and all the best.
No problem. Thank you. See you, Polly.
All right, we are back here at Bendigo. Jared, I'll get you to come one stride in there so you're in the picture. But you didn't know that about Kez. A lot of people didn't know that. She's got 3 fractured vertebrae in her back. So.
Yeah, news to me, but she's one tough lady.
She is, and she still drove horses. And I did say I reckon the horse in the last at Melton would have tested it out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It pulled very hard, and they're no good when they pull at the best of times. So, yeah.
She mightn't have had any kind words to say to it, I reckon.
No, absolutely. Now, we're here. You're going to put your Swan Hill hat on, but we're actually going to put your Llowalong Farms on, if you like, for a sec, and association with the Heidi George here from the Swan Hill Harness Racing Club.
Indeed, yep. I'm Vice President up there, and look, it's a great initiative from Kath to have the 3 clubs that she sponsors to hold heats and final into the Heidi George, and like $8,000 races in the heats into a $20,000 final for lower class mares. So absolutely fabulous, I reckon. And I've been to each one of the tracks so far. Racing was great at Echuca, the really exciting race. Has had a great field, and good to see the New South Welshman get up on the line. He's done some travel to get there, and I sort of bumped into him again tonight. The final is going to be a really interesting race. It's looking forward to it, and very, very, very good initiative. Yeah,
it is a great initiative, and it's I think it's good actually. The 3 clubs, Bendigo will have a heat next year.
Yep.
Either Swan Hill or Echuca. I don't know how you work it out all out, and just a rotational basis, which is good. I mean, she actually said there because clubs that looked after her when she started out, so she gives back. So,
Yep.
But I think if everyone keep doing that sort of thing, it'd be a lot better.
Would be make life easier for the clubs, that's for sure, and like for her to be giving away free stallion services to the winning connections and like another poster boys for tonight. It's a sensational effort.
No, absolutely. I should very bad of me just to say that too. Of course, the race before was taken out by Bay of Biscay beating the big boss. 27-4 and 26-8. Go and watch a replay. Like Lockie McIntosh, wait till the GPS comes in to see how quick Bay of Biscay got home.
Oh, absolutely. And there wasn't a very big margin between them, but even the 3rd and 4th horse weren't that far off them either. Yeah. Jenny Gallagher and Gary Olsen, they're up there. They were very happy.
They were very happy, and they ran last, but they weren't disappointed by any stretch. That's Red Shore, so he'll appreciate it. But he'll be back here next week. That, of course, was the Alabar one, and I did see, because he is bred by Alabar, and he was a sale topper in Sydney, the Nike Frankie. He wasn't sale topper, actually. I think he was second. He went very good, but I don't think he was the actual sale topper from that sale. Someone will correct me on that. Pardo might in a minute. But anyway, the next is for the 2-year-old fillies, and there's only the 4 of those going around because the preludes, a few of the Sydney siders haven't come up for these. So it's a little bit frustrating, but that happens.
It does happen, and that's what goes on. And tomorrow night I've got a share in a 2-year-old trotter from up in Blake Fitzpatrick's been training him. And there's 4 in that heat too. But those 4 all go around the heats and they go through the final to be racing for $62,500. So you've got to pay up for these races. They're good.
Yep, and obviously the finals of those are at next year they'll be in April. Sorry, the finals are here on the 11th, but we'll be going to April for next season as well. So we want people to be aware of those and build them up. People say, small fields are disappointing. They are, but they've got to be aware that people have staked these horses up. These races are put on from Nutrien's point of view, so people need to be aware of how it works. So,
and absolutely, and like this is the first year that they've actually had them as for 2-year-olds. So first year, second year.
Second year. We went to Sydney last year.
Yep. So, look, it'll get bigger and stronger all the time, I think. Yeah.
They were only the 2-year-olds last year. Yeah, so this is the first year for 2 and 3-year-olds.
2 and 3-year-olds,
Yep, no, it'll continue to grow. We've got plenty of people on there watching. Please, if you've got any questions. Right, Swan Hill Stallion Tender. Now, we did Talking for Trotters, What the Hill, Talking for Trotters the other night, and we started a few things up. We might start at the end, if you like, of our conversation with Duncan McPherson, but his continued support of your Stallion Tender over the years. How long has it stretched back?
Oh, look, I'm guessing 10 years or more. It's been quite a journey, and we get on really well with the studs now, and it's not as hard as it used to be originally. But Duncan McPherson, you've only got to make an inquiry, have a decent chat to him, and he's on board everything. This year I sent him an email. I got an email back within probably an hour, I reckon, and we've got 2 horses. We've got Dancing in the Dark M again this year, and we've got Sky Valley, who's one of the old popular ones. And look how good the Sky Valley 2-year-old went the other night. Link in the bio for Mr. Knott. So
it won at Maryborough since. So it ran second here and then
it
won.
Yeah. From a good old mare that I used to own, Starkus. Yeah. So
great did you name it?
No, I bought it with name from New Zealand. Yeah.
I know.
There's been some interesting foal names from it.
Well, Naked Ambition, I think it's in tomorrow night, or it might be in tonight. It's in somewhere anyway. It's racing in the next couple of days.
Probably tomorrow night, I think. Yeah.
So it's another one out of that family. It's a great family. Yep. There's a lot of really cool names. So he's continued his support. Llowalong Farms. Llowalong
Farms have really dipped in again this year. For those out there who are interested, we actually will have King of the North, which is a really highly related or highly regarded Walden Stallion.
Yeah, he's a world champ, out of a world champ, by a world champ.
The dam line is just incredible. It's just amazing. And like he's ran time, he's won big races. He's he's untried down here, but he'll be the first Waldener down here, and I think he'll get a really, really good book. Yeah,
he's the first son of Warner down here, and there's no Warner down here either.
That's right.
So that's the big kicker with him. Raging Bull and then Yankee Rockstar as well.
Yep, Raging Bull and Yankee Rockstar, and look, both of those are very well credentialed and well priced stallions. So normally, most of our stallions will sell for maybe 70 to 80% of the advertised service fee. So it gives people a chance to buy something with a bit of a discount.
And that's what we want people to be aware of, how they do work, and I'll promote it more when we get a bit closer to the day. But around that 70%, so don't turn around and say, I'll throw $1 in and hope I get it. You're not going to get it.
No.
There is a cut-off point. But if you aim around that 70%, it's a good opportunity. And we're going to talk Woodlands and that. There's a few other farms that do. Bendigo here, they do one with Alabar.
Yes.
And also Horsham do one with Woodlands.
Yes.
I know that. And they only do single stallions at those ones. You guys do the large numbers. And there's someone else. I think there's one actually on Pinjarra, I think have got one on at the minute. So don't even worry about not looking near and far. Look wherever you want.
Exactly. And like we get bids all over Australia.
Yeah.
We've even had bids from Northern Territory, and which won. So it's amazing the coverage we get, and we try and get stallions on the stallion tender that'll cover most of the people's needs. From low price stallions to pretty decent sized stallions, and we've got King of the North. He stands for 7,900 non-negotiable. They won't be doing any deals on him, so we'll probably get more than 70% on him, I would think.
Yeah, I do know. A few years ago when I had I was on the committee here at Bendigo, and you guys were fortunate enough as well. It was Vincent.
Vincent, yeah.
And he got booked out, and no one could get into him. So I think you guys got the service fee. I know Bendigo got overs because people.
Yeah. People look, it's just incredible, and And the beauty of it is, the people that are buying know that the money goes back to the club, whether it be Bendigo or Swan Hill. So, they're happy to support our clubs, even if they've got to pay, usually not overs, but they still pay pretty good money. So,
Bendigo got into a unique position, actually. It was quite an interesting one. So don't leave it to last night. Woodlands, of course, What the Hill, that's how it sparked the whole conversation.
Exactly.
And talking trotters, we will talk trotters every Monday night, and it will be sponsored by What the Hill right through to Christmas. So I've got to say thank you to those guys.
And Mark does a terrific job. He's always a bit like Duncan. Got to just talk to him, and we'll go through the process, and we always get one or two from him. And so we've got What the Hill and Lather Up, and Lather Up's starting to leave some on the track now. Yep. So I think he's going to make it. So, that's another nice stallion. And then this year, I've actually gone overseas to Tasmania. So I've spoken to Kerry Heimers over there, and we've actually got one stallion at the moment, Tell All, and we may get another one at some stage as well. So, talk to people. Most of the studs are pretty accommodating. I've got another 2 or 3 studs that I'm just waiting for replies on. So hoping to have 12 to 14 stallions this year, and that'll have a fair range of price ranges in amongst it.
You already got quite a fair range, and it's interesting, like you say, going overseas to Tasmania. That's the thing, where it works two ways. With Kerry, with you. But then the Tasmanians look and they say, oh, look at this.
Yeah.
And we've got this opportunity. So they don't have to pigeonhole themselves and say, oh, that's only for Swan Hill people, because that's where it does work. So it works both ways.
Absolutely. And as I said, we get bids from all over Australia, Western Australia, wherever. And we don't disclose the bids, but the highest bid wins. And, some people will bid on 2 or 3 horses. I usually talk to them before the final time to see whether they want all 2 or 3 bids if they win them, or if they just want the one win. So I try to, and I'm happy for people to ring me as well. I just don't want any confusion anywhere, and we want to be up front.
When will it open?
It will open on September the 8th, which is a Friday.
Yep.
Goes for 2 weeks, and will close on September the 22nd at 5 p.m.
And I'll be pushing it out. We'll make sure everyone knows about it going forward, and we want people to get involved in it. One, it supports the club, supports the studs too. That's the other part of it. So that's the other kicker as well. We want to be able to support these clubs and prop these clubs up. It's actually interesting, because I was going to just the Stallion Guide, here it is here. That is actually a What the Hill that you might have had something to do with the breeding of that horse, I believe.
Well, I owned the mare, Charlotte Galleon. A lovely lady called Dot Green purchased the mare off me in foal to What the Hill. Not that foal, but the foal that's been broken in at the moment.
Oh, and then she went back?
Yeah, she went back again. Yeah.
Oh, that is a good little story.
Yeah.
I actually thought you'd bred that one. That's why I threw that one up. So, where's your love? Just the runners are starting. It doesn't matter. I'll have to talk over this one anyway. But where's your love of the horse and primarily the trotter? Where's that all come from?
Goes back a long way. I was at primary school at Menangatang of all places, and I sat beside another person called Trevor Patching, and he and his family were...
Darren Carroll's wobbling around here too.
So Trevor probably piqued my interest in talking about horses, and we might have talked more about horses than we studied, but anyway, so that's where it peaked. And then when I shifted back to Swan Hill to work... Trevor's brother Billy was training a couple of horses, and he needed someone to drive one. So I went out, and I just love the horse, and love the people, and it's just grown. I've grown to a stage where I probably got too many broodmares, but anyway, it's it's one of the.
You put Charlotte Galleon on the market. If you got, it was a Winter Woolies, I think you put.
It was a Winter Woolies, yeah.
If she reached the mark, you were happy to let her go. Yeah,
look, she sold for about the service fee. I love the horse so much that she was getting on a little bit, and if I kept her for much longer. My query was going to be, what do I do when she can't produce anymore? I'm not going to put her in the dog sale or anything else. And it's great to see that Dot bought her, and she's got 2 or 3 foals out of her now. So,
the older sister won the overnight for Paul and Kari males. Wound the clock back a little bit. That's her, isn't it?
Yeah, Royal Charlotte.
She wound the clock back. She showed some, not the last start she didn't. She wound the clock back not that far, where she's been a bit misbehaving. But she went terrific. Yeah, no, she's if she doesn't pull in a races, she's sort of got a bit of steam at the end, and in the right class, I think she's probably still going to win a few more. But she's been a great little mare. She's won New South Wales and Victorian Oaks, which certainly hasn't done any harm to my breeding prospects and kept me interested. So I've actually got sold one at the sales last year, which is a full sister to Royal Charlotte. Dot Green, who owns Charlotte Galleon, is part owner in it, as her son and her daughter, and then there's 4 or 5 others as well.
2-year-old being trained by Sammy Kilgour and Josh Dickey.
Yep.
And I shouldn't be telling people this, but they were going on holidays in August, so they're actually going to tip her out in August. They've decided that she'll go around in the Vicbred heats and hopefully final in a couple of weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks' time. So they put their holiday off. So take a line through there. I don't.
Well, that's got to be a good sign.
Well, they really like her. They really love her. Yeah, and she can trot. So she's still got to get qualified. So her name is Lateria.
Yep.
So
Right. Put the pressure on.
I don't want to put the pressure on
I haven't
her,
seen
but,
Joshy on there or anything like that. Michelle Arnott Dot will keep her forever. She's got the best home. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please, anyone else? Grant Campbell is actually watching. Grano. I don't know how he went today. Actually, I don't know if he went any good. He had to return to the sulky. So
Of course. Yeah.
that was something a little bit different to him. Isn't it the great thing about breeding, though? The fact that you actually meet friendships and make friendships with so many people.
Absolutely.
So
And Dot keeps sending me pictures and videos of all her, the mares and foals and things like that. And she's very good like that. And look, I love all of it. It's just part of a life for me.
yeah, no, absolutely. It is a lot of fun. Right, mate. I'll let you go. Bardo's found the Goadsby guys, so they made the big trip from Newcastle, so they got 2 in this race. About to go around. Sorry, the club cup meeting, when's that?
Cup meeting's 3rd of November. It's a Friday night. And we've got a very big Halloween party associated with it.
As long as you don't get the wins.
No, let's hope we get a good night. But we reckon we'll double the crowd that we had last year. And you were there, and it was a big crowd last year.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a
yeah,
lot of fun.
yep.
So, yeah.
So we've putting in a very concerted effort, and we've got a few more helpers on board this year, and it'll be a bit more organised than it was last year, but it went off really well last year. And to see so many kids and people running around having fun and enjoying the night was
Well,
good.
that was the thing, and in fairness, it was blowing a gale, so the jumping castles, everything was off, but didn't matter.
No.
And then we had the fancy dress, and the mothers getting involved, and all.
Imagine if we can get a decent bit of weather for it. We should do early November.
Yeah, you hope so.
With a bit of luck.
It was just one of those ones.
Yeah.
Jared, thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks for everything you do as well, getting involved with the shows. I keep saying this to people as Alex Hurley's got involved there. The more people that get involved, the more that it actually grows it generically. So I do really appreciate it, and we try and get the message out there.
Yep.
There's probably a few people watching to see whether I'm catching up with Matty Isaacs. It's not happening. He's not here tonight, but I am going to catch up with him tomorrow, so there will be a interview going out. But it's trying times, I suppose, for the industry. But we've got to pull our socks up and do something.
We've got there's an issue. We've got to deal with it, and we've got to get on with it. But that won't stop Hurls with the Curls from bidding on the stallion tender. She's been a great supporter of our club. So thanks, Hurls.
She always says, I'm not looking. It's like a few people that don't want to look at the winter woolies, and then I look at the results, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't look. You looked real hard, didn't you? So, yeah, it is one of those ones.
I think we've got the same affliction.
Yeah, everyone has. I tried to get one of the horses. There's only the 4 horses in this race, but it's a little bit tricky. I'll let you go, mate. You wouldn't do me a favour and just ask for Mark Barton if he'd just come up for a minute, and then I might actually wrap the show up. But I really appreciate that, Jared. Thank you very much, mate.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, Jared Jamison. Jared Jamison. There's a blast from the past, actually. Jared Maloney from Swan Hill Harness Racing Club, the Vice President. But I do really appreciate it. Alex Hurley had a little laughing face as well. So, yeah. I'll just get Mark Barton on, and we'll probably call it a little bit of a day, unless other people have got something to get in. I will say thank you to every person that's given me a bit of a birthday wrap. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. We've still got 2 more heats of the Nutrien races to go on. I reckon I just got the cold shoulder from Mark Barton. I'm not sure. I think he's going to watch his next race. Maybe, I'm not sure. Going forward, so he may be coming on, may not be. But who else has said a happy birthday there? Brookie Hammond. Hello to you, Brookie. The Tasmanian Uber driver going forward. So. Sure if he's coming up or not. I reckon what I might do is just wait to this next race. He's just, as I said, turned down there talking with the Goadsby boys. But there's been plenty of news happening in the last few days. I haven't got my computer in front of me to do the results. I can tell people, Charlton Harness Racing Club, thank you very much to you. I did have a funny one. The Charlton Open Gardens 2017 is watching. I reckon someone logged into the wrong account at some stage, but thank you very much to the guys from Charlton. Grant Forrest, hello to you, Granny. Always tuning in. Timmy White from New Zealand. Jeff Dixon's on there. Mickey Barbie. There's quite a few people on there. And, of course, as I said earlier, I caught up with Karen Manning, who, if you haven't heard, has got, unfortunately, 3 cracked vertebrae. They're only slightly cracked. But, yeah, still not a good result. Good result for her. It is actually very cold. I can tell you there's not too many people here actually watching the races. Bardo's going to come. We might actually just talk over while this race is on there over at the start. But as I said, I'm not allowed to actually technically show you the race. I'm not showing you the race, just showing you the horses on the infield. And we will probably have a quick chat with Mark Barton as he comes in. Come in, mate. You're fine. It is all good. Firstly, welcome back to Campbell's Comments, mate.
No, good to see you, mate. Always good.
Bit fresh out here all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful day, though.
Yeah.
They're raving about Bendigo weather this last couple of weeks. It's been good days, and I think they're predicting a nice day again tomorrow. But, yeah, it's clear as a bell. It's a beautiful night.
Heat's going on at the minute. That last race just then, Bay of Biscay, just scintillating, just what he was able to actually run just then. It was just brilliant. So
yeah, look, I think it's great for us. You see a yearling actually go through a sale ring, but isn't it great to see they get in the hands of some of, like, they're world class, these trainers, and to see them as youngsters get to where they're able to apply their craft and actually realise their potential. I think it's a great night.
No, it is indeed. Brett Coffey's over there. He came up smiling. I'll actually get Brett on before I do finish the show. He's not smiling as much now, but he is. He can actually hear him. We will get him on and just get a bit of a feel back for the way that filly just went then. I think. Sorry, not filly, the colt. I know how nervous he was prior to the sale. So that's the one thing about it is enjoying this journey, isn't it, with these people?
Oh, look, I know yesterday we looked at the Menangle winners, and you've got Shannon Price, Queensland.
Yep.
I think there's a horse of one that they paid 100 for, and there's a horse of one that they paid 16 for. So
what a great result!
I think it is, and I think like left a message, son. Obviously, it's not the value; it's actually you've got a good eye for picking an early runner, and I think that's great. You've got Queensland stables that have got horses racing for this next weekend, and the locals here and New South Wales. It's all the eastern seaboard.
You're talking to the Goatsby boys. They're from Newcastle. I know Shannon's on her way down. They're going to be here Sunday or Monday, I think. They're going to be at Greg Sugars's, so they're going to be here. And that's next Friday is the heats. You've got a few things planned here for people, but you encourage people to get out here and one, look after the club, but also enjoy the Nutrien experience.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. What you got here is they've done a great job refurbishing this place too, which we talked about this a year ago about coming here and what they thought they'd get done, and they've done everything they said.
Oh yeah, because this wouldn't have been done.
No, this was a project that they talked about and said, look, we reckon we can have it done by this time next year. So they've got it done, and everyone you talk to loves the Bendigo track. It's a fair track, and the punters don't mind it, but the horses get a fair go. It's great.
And you see horses like Bay of Biscay and what they were able to carve out. I mean, that's what people want to see. Everyone says 4-horse field. You couldn't have watched that last 4-horse field and been upset by any stretch.
No, and look, there's 4 of these fillies here, and there's actually another 4 of these 2-year-olds in Sydney. So we'll end up with 8 finalists in this 2-year-old race.
We've got to make sure people are aware of that. These are preludes. So
they are.
They're actually preludes. So we can't show this race. It's different to New South Wales. Unfortunately, we were able to do it at New South Wales. But we can sort of talk about. We can say Nathan Jacks just jumped to the front very, very quickly. But I think about Nathan. He's well and truly patronising the Nutrien horses. He's got plenty of them. So
he's got a high profile horse from this year that obviously will be looking forward to seeing how that horse breaks in and comes up towards the 2-year-olds next year.
Richie Rich, he mentioned him the other day to me and said he broke in really nicely. But the job he's done with Big Boss, I mean, he was a great run just then. And Llowalong Farms, Kath prepared him. So, well, not Kath, the whole team did there.
Yep.
So it's a good one. He's actually Nate's in front with Ignite the Flyer at the minute. Sweet Valeria's second. So the Goatsby horses are 1-2. So hopefully they go good because they've made a fair trip, that's for sure.
Oh, and look, I do know that these horses are Vicbred too. So they're, I guess a win here tonight still gets them a Vicbred bonus too.
As well.
So there's another little benefit for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Rightio, trotters tomorrow night. Good fields of trotters.
Yeah.
You'd be wrapped in the turnout.
Oh, look, again, particularly the heats of the 3-year-old trotting fillies look really, really interesting, and I think it's just great to see the trotters, come through and see those 3-year-olds chase 125,000 each, which is it's good prize money in the trotting ranks.
Harassed Trotters getting behind those, or Yabadam Farms getting behind the whole race series and the Trotters, and also got so many of their breed actually going through them. It's a double whammy, isn't it? It's such a good result for them to get these horses out there.
Oh, look, definitely. And what I'd say too is you've got the chance to get into international genetics now at these sales with some of these better known stables in Australia that are offering some of these great filly lines up for these mare lines up for sale, and chance to buy fillies particularly that you might be able to breed on with later.
Yeah, I haven't seen a half that slow for a long time. 65-6, even Lockie's giggling about it. You might be able to hear him over the microphones over the top, but that's okay. The return of the locomotive. His first Group 1 last year was the Nutrien. He went on to win 5 more. He's a great result. See him returning, that's exciting.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I think we said it, he was probably our first high-profile Nutrien graduate for us. So we've sort of really enjoyed that. I see something about Eiley, ran third in a heat. Yep. She was a winner last year and she looked good again. But there's good to see the ones that progress. But you've got a horse starting to move along here now.
That is Ignite the Fire. So he's gone very slow down the back, but he's going to let rip now. So well done, Aaron Goadsby and the team. They're going to get a winner. They might actually get a winner and a second. No, they might have got a fourth. I might have actually lost the second one, but very, very impressive. And 27-4 last quarter. So, I mean, that was terrific to see that too.
Yeah,
so.
and I reckon she went pretty nice round at Bathurst earlier on in an earlier prep too. I think.
Yep.
Ignite the Fire. I think might have won a heat. So a horse with potential, I guess. Like I say, there's 4 Sydney horses. Include Luxa Turner against these guys come next week, and that'll be she's obviously.
And these are a prelude, so people are wondering they can nominate later and still eligible for them.
So we're locked in with 8.
Yep.
So we had 4 noms in Sydney.
4 noms. Yep.
4 noms in Sydney.
So
4 noms in Victoria for Bendigo. The New South Wales rules, you have to have 6 to have a start. So after talking to them before we started tonight, that those 8 will be automatic qualifiers for the final next weekend.
Sweet.
Next Friday night.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a very New South Wales feel to it too now with the Goadsby's and Luxa Turner coming down. She's a beautiful horse. It's going to be a great night of racing to come in next Friday night, the 13th, because there is going to be so many nice horses with so much upside to them.
Oh, and look, I think it's also, like you say, you're seeing some of the breeders that are here. See the Gallagher's there watching a couple of their bred horses run around in heats, and I think, talking to Jenny, and she said, look, we always own a little piece of that horse. So
we'll get him to come in. We can get him to come in. He can have his own microphone. Come in. We're actually going to wrap up, but we can't grab your microphone. You've got to have your own microphone. Brett Coffey, firstly, welcome.
G'day, Paul. How are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you. 41. So don't let anyone tell you any different. So
leave that hat on, mate. That's all I'd say.
Firstly, Alabar's continued support here with both Nutrien and also the Bendigo Harness Club. It's a good fit to have the Nutrien race series here.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, it's been good. We're happy with everything. Happy with Bendigo. Happy with Nutrien. So it's very happy with both relationships.
Bay of Biscay, how happy were you about that?
Pretty happy, Paul. If being honest, pretty happy. It's all our horses had good results tonight, like ones we've bred and sold. But he's pretty special. So it's quite the dream to have a horse like him and be involved with him, with some good owners. So.
We were talking to Kath McIntosh earlier, Jared Maloney. I keep going to call him Jared Jamison. It's half about, it's a journey as well. It's not just about you guys preparing horses, sending them to a sale, and then saying goodbye. It is this whole journey, and it must be so rewarding seeing him in person hit the track like that.
Yeah, you got no idea how it's so like Alan, to his credit, spent a lot of money buying Nike, brought her back from America to here. We got her in foal to Sun Beach. Remember, she had a colt, just over the moon, went down and saw her, and then followed it right through. He's always been a really nice colt. Like, he's just one of those ones that sort of stands out in the paddock. He's not a super pretty horse, but he's just got some presence about him. He's a big, strong colt. And to see him doing what he's doing now, even just speaking to Clayton early on, he just loved him right from the go. And you sort of go, settle down a little bit. But now he's starting to do some stuff that, he sort of promised, and he's got so much improvement in him, it's not funny as well. So
we saw firsthand, Bardo, Brett, and eye for detail and looking after everything, including the nicks. Like he went right down to the shoes, but there was nerves, and there was, there was a lot of buy-in, wasn't there?
Look, I think anyone that's bred horse or been around horses, the really good ones don't come up every day. Like they're you can breed for a lifetime and have one or two maybe, and you're lucky to see the second one. So I think it's you get on that one and you think there's a glimmer. And again, I'm probably thinking of horses with a saddle on their back, and you think this one might just be a bit better, and then you see that something real special that happens. It's a one or two in a lifetime opportunity, I think.
Yeah, exactly right. And like you speak of that day, I was wrecked that day.
You were
absolutely wrecked. And I don't know what got into me, but I was wrecked. But to see that now, like what he's doing now, and like I went to bloody Maryborough trials to watch him trial. Like, that's how much I love this horse. Like we have so many bad things that go wrong in this industry, you know, with breeding horses and stuff. You got to enjoy these horses because they are once in a lifetime type horses, and like honestly, like the you know, not getting too ahead of myself or anything, but like the dream is always to breed a horse and then have it come back to your stud and stand at stud.
Yep.
For like our business. And like Ride High was born on our farm and he's come back and standing at stud now. Like it would just be, you know, just amazing to do that with another horse and you know, long way to go yet. But he's doing some pretty cool things at the moment.
The beauty of it is he's 2 from 2.
Yeah,
so I mean,
exactly.
you're not exactly, you can dream. There's
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
saying you can't dream that now. That's for sure.
No, exactly. Yeah. So that's the dream. But you know, like it's incredible.
I think it's like we were saying before you got here, Brett, to see a horse that has so much genetic potential, and then they get in the right hands, the right owners, the right connections.
Exactly.
Then they get to the right trainers that actually have the long-term view where they can actually make a great horse rather than, look, let's try and win a few juvenile races.
Yeah.
So
And
his
that's-
journey's a long one still.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's
And
exciting.
every step of the way has gone good with him. Like it's been quite amazing. And Emma and Clayton and their team have done a super job with him, and they know that he'll get better, you know, next year and the year after. So he'll have a relatively light campaign, you know, this 2-year-old year, I think, for a horse. Not telling him what to do or anything, but I believe that's the plan for a horse of his ability, and then hopefully get better next year and hopefully be in, you know, some good races next year. So
No, it's super exciting.
yes.
Alabar, the roster, stallion roster. Sorry, Bardo, you're going to stand here in a minute as the third wheel. The
Just
stallion
quickly,
roster.
Paul, before you get to that, to give a shout out to Cameron Brown, who half-bred the winner of the last heat. So
Do you reckon he's standing up at the minute? Have you been talking to him at all or not? Is he is he still laying on the ground? Because he gets a bit nervous.
yeah, no, I think he'll be okay with this one. He doesn't own it anymore, Paul, so he's very insolvent. So,
You'll always own a little piece there, don't you? I think you breed one, you still have
Not Cam.
Yeah. He's ruthless.
Cam's actually, I'm going to try and catch up with him, but he's gone to Western Australia and taken over the harness racing job over there. So it's an exciting frontier, and
absolutely.
I'm always up for a free junket, so I'm going to try and get in touch with him, and then I might be able to even get across there. You never know how that one might work. Stallion roster, you've got a big number of horses this year. Excited about it?
Yeah. You know, nervous with anticipation, but no, excited for sure. Like we've got some nice horses, some nice proven horses, some young ones coming through, and then obviously debuting Pebble Beach this year, 3-year-old of the year. So that's, you know, anytime you can get a 3-year-old of the year down, that's a pretty big thing. So his bookings are going good, and so pretty exciting.
It is exciting, and it's a lot of fun. It's a nervous time of the year, but
terribly.
He would have landed, I suppose he's at quarantine as well with the same as Calf's horses.
Correct. Yeah. So they get released on the 16th to the farm, so that'll be good to always get them. We've got 4 this year, 4 shuttles, and you know, and then you see like a horse like Vincent who decided to ignite the fire. You know, he's doing a good job.
Yahoo's going around in a minute.
Yahoo's, you know, I think a pretty good chance in the 3-year-old series. So
just I'm going to say we're only talking about it. With Jenny Gallagher, just saying like the Vincents are really starting to hit their straps inside there a moment ago. Like he's a horse that I remember when I first saw the first crop as babies before we sold the first draft, and then you thought, I said, gee, I love these horses on type, and they're actually starting to really kick some goals.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, like he's currently 5th on the 2-year-olds list in Australia, which is really good, and 4th I think on the New Zealand 2-year-old list. So he's right up there with the good ones. So that's what you want to see.
And the Mickeys are doing it too. They're starting to really
absolutely. Yeah, he's got some really promising horses, and he's got some great horses in America, and he's got some really good ones down here that are just coming through, and you'll see some. You know, you'll see some good ones at the back end of the season for sure.
He's having a good season in America, isn't he? At the minute?
Super. Yeah. He's got some. You know, Sylvia Hanover's just an incredible filly. Like, got some quirks. You'd like it. You like those ones with quirks. But,
well, Timmy Tetrick fits it too. It's one of those. I am going to try and catch up with Timmy on the phone and have a bit of a chat about her because she's an odd bod, but
But no. So he's going good. So there's they're all going along nicely, and he's still got the old boy Art Major who's still over 300,000.
Soaring trotting winners. Like
did he? Where did he say that one?
Queensland on Tuesday. Yeah. So
it's
my ultimate. I forgot his last name,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
something,
but
yeah.
so he's won 4 now, but he's a trotting winner, so yeah.
Yeah, and like he's over 300 grand in front on the 2-year-old list, like,
Yeah.
which is pretty phenomenal for a horse, like
And
him,
look,
so.
our first race series last year, and Art Major was the winner there again, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Won
exactly.
the 2-year-old
Yep,
colt. So
Yep. So
First responder.
First
Yeah.
responder.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And he's got a couple going around in the major celebrity and horses like that. So,
yeah, some nice horses.
Yeah.
All right, boys, thank you. Bendigo Harness Racing are actually watching. That's interesting because we're here. We've got next two races are the Yellow Bar races. I'm going to actually finish up because it's a little bit cold and chilly, but you guys will all be back here on the 13th, don't you? Oh,
Do you need
mate,
to-
thank you.
I'd say try and get here on the 11th.
The 11th. What's the 13th? That's a Sunday.
I don't know. I reckon
You'll be a bit
you
lonely
get
out
it-
here.
you get it
Maybe
on the-
trials.
Friday the 11th would be a lot better time to come, I reckon. But no, there'll be some good racing here, mate. I'm really excited about this. Big thank you to the club. Like I know you're involved with the club here. It's a
No, I'm not. I've got to say that now. I was, but I'm not now. But yeah.
I kicked him out.
Yeah, fair enough. But things have really kicked on too, haven't they?
exactly.
But no, they've done a great job. What they've said they'll do, they've done.
Yep.
Great track. Thank you to Alabar and all our sponsors. But you guys started with Nutrien when we first came into the market. You supported us with sponsorship and a wonderful draft of horses, and it's great to see all of us actually 3 years on starting to actually see like these 3-year-olds. Now it's really exciting to start to see yearlings become household names and
Yep.
racing
There's going to be
celebrities.
some real good horses here next week. When
That's
you
what I say. Locomotive stepping out tomorrow night. Yeah.
Luxa Turner coming down from she's a awesome
Phenomenal.
filly.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some really nice horses.
The club did say that they're actually booked out now too. They've
Oh,
sold
really?
all the
That's good.
tables for Friday night next week. So that's
That's what I said. Get in on
that's
the
great.
13th.
But
You'll get a
it's-
table.
It's also great for for regional Victoria too. It's great to see
Absolutely.
a quality race, nearly $1 million worth of racing going around in regional Victoria. It's great.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
no, absolutely. All right, boys. Thank you. I'll
on you, mate.
call it a wrap. As I said, I'll catch up with Matt Isaacs tomorrow afternoon, so that'll go out on Campbell's comments, and we'll go from there. Some interesting news and stuff that had to happen, but we'll get the rest out. So thank you to everyone that's been watching. Thank you to you two gentlemen, and you guys get up there and have a feed and enjoy the festivities. You got to do the right thing by the sponsors, so well done. And that'll be about a wrap. That's the best way I sign out. So thank you very much,
Good on you.
guys.
Thanks, Paul.